Let's give another, let's say 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll be ready to start. I still see a lot of people making their way into the room. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming. My name is Borsellino, and this webinar is going to be about our website and the different things that we offer, and probably just a little bit how to get to know us, who we are, what we do, and what we're looking for, and people that want to get interested in trading. I'm going to assume that everybody that is in the webinar has some experience with trading. If not, you can start typing your questions in the answer box, and the other people that are on the chat. We got Anthony Borsellino, Pat Tabbitt, and I believe Chris Kahn is on there, part of our team. This is the core part of the team that handles the day-to-day chat room and all the different analysis that we put out and so on. So just a little bit background. Here's the background on myself. I started trading commodities in 1981 in the gold pit of Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I'm a native of Chicago, and traded in the pits from 1981 till 2002. Retired, stepped back, enjoyed my family, my kids, coached high school football, won about 4 state championships, and kicked back, and my kids all are in college now, and started trading about 3 or 4 years ago. Back in the late 80s, or I'm sorry, the late 90s, I wrote a book called The Pit from the PC and the Day Trader Course, and I had a educational website called teachtrade.com, and that's where I met Pat Tabbitt, who's a co-founder and partner in ManOverMarket. Also, we've got Anthony Borsellino, who's my nephew, on with us. He will be answering most of your technical questions as far as the way the software and different things that we use and how you would get hooked up. He'll be typing a million miles a minute once your questions start shooting out. So, and then we got Chris Kahn, also a member of our team, who is part of our research team. Also does a lot of our blogs, all of our blogs, and she will be on here to answer questions or help field some questions. So we'll just try to move through this. All right. So one of the things that I'm assuming is that most of you people know about trading. If you don't know about trading or you've heard about trading, you have to understand the difference between the kind of trading that we do and we are commodity traders, right? And we trade financial futures, and we are actually experts, or believed to be experts. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're experts on trading financial futures, all right? And so what we've kind of did is kind of put the website together as something that there's something in there for everybody, and actually we can move you through the website for people who are beginners, and then there's also people that are already trading and and when you start trading, you go through a metamorphosis, right? You become unprofitable, then you become break even, and then hopefully you become profitable, right? And hopefully you start your trading career on a simulator so that you don't waste a lot of good money trying to learn. And that's also been a typical response that I get from most people that ever traded commodities, right? Because here's what's happening. There are thousands, well, there are several hundred commodity brokers, as there are stockbrokers out there, who get cold call lists, and they allow people, and they call them up, and they say, hey, want to be a trader? We got all this great education. All you got to do is open up an account. If you trade commodity futures, if you think gold's going up, you can buy it. If you think it's going down, you can sell it. You can trade financial futures. So you can trade the S&P 500. You don't have to know all the stock markets, every single stock. All you have to do is speculate on whether the index is going up or down on the day, and it's simple. Just open up your account, and you're going to be, a millionaire. And really, truthfully, that's the black eye of all online trading, all trading, and commodity futures trading for the last, since I've been involved, the last 30 years, is that they get people in, and most of the retail people that will get in will put money in their accounts, and they will lose that money within 6 months. And does the other guy care? He doesn't care. The brokers of the world, all they care about is the commission that you get charged, because that's how they get compensated. It is the name of the game. They're like bookies. Let's face it, they're like bookies, all right? So we are a little bit different. And so in the last, I would say, 5 years, maybe the last 3 years, there's been a lot of firms that have jumped up there and are actually sprung up and said, hey, want to be a funded trader? And, come to us and we'll give you everything you need. Yeah, they're going to give you everything you need. They're going to give you a simulated account. They're going to give you some rules. And then they're going to give you a tuition fee. And when you get the tuition fee, if you violate the rules, you get kicked out of the program, then you can get back into the program, then you get kicked out of the program, and you can get back into the program, and you struggle to get funded, and they provide all these different links to different educators and so on, and this is why we created ManOverMarket, and why this is what separates us from the rest, all right? So let me walk you guys through what we think and what I know and how we established the site. We're doing some reworks now because we think sometimes the message has gotten a little diluted, but here's what I'm going to do. So first of all, if you register on the site, you must register on the site. If you give us some information and an email address. When you register on the site, you now have access to getting into the morning. You register, you log in, and you can get into the blog. When you get into the blog, all right, you can get into the dashboard right here, the dashboard. And when you get into the dashboard and you go into the market research, okay? So for the people that are already trading oil futures, S&P futures, and gold futures, you can come in here in the morning.
That's the Tribune article.
Oh, sorry guys.
One right below it.
All right, so this was an article that was in Tribune. Actually, you guys saw it. It came from Facebook. So you can come in here in the morning meeting. It says pre-market research, and you can get this research for free every morning. And we put out a bunch of nice stats, a lot of different things that we look at when it comes to trading. ES, which is the E-mini futures, which is the mini futures on the big S&P 500 contract, is where I made my fame and my fortune back in the 80s through the 90s and left in 2003. So, that's when I was on CNBC, I was on CNN, I did the first broadcast from the floor of the exchange, and so that's where everybody knew me, and that's when I wrote the book and so on. So when I retired, I got back out there, and here we are. So we put this research out every day, and this is a product of the team, Pat Davitt and Chris Kahn, and we put out some statistical, what we call our statistical probabilities for the market to test certain areas. We'll get into that a little later, but we'll show you that, what we do. So we put out all these statistics, and this is just for free if you want to go in here and you're part of registered and you're trading gold futures, oil futures, S&P futures. You can get this for free. Also, if you're a newbie and you don't know anything about market, about futures, and you've been a stock trader or you want to be a trader, what we've done is provided in our manual. You go to the manual, all right, and just click on it, and you get the first 21 days or 21 pages of the manual, and we talk about what commodity futures trading is. And we talk about the S&P 500, the markets, its mechanisms, and we get into this whole education about exchanges, FCMs, clearing firms, you as the customer, what's a clearing member. We talk about the purpose of the exchanges. We give you the history of futures exchanges. Now, people always ask, for 30 years I've been involved in this business, people are always asking me about different stocks. I don't know anything about different stocks. I do because I've had the stock portfolio, but I didn't manage that. Literally, the reason I don't trade stocks or I don't trade ETFs and I don't trade currencies is because I get the most bang for my buck trading commodity futures, and I'm trading the ES. All I have to do is do my technical analysis, my research, our market profile research, and we can devise a plan on whether the market is going up or down, and that's all we have to do. We can buy the market, we can sell the market. If you're trading stocks, if you're day trading stocks, you better be day trading 3 or 4 different stocks. And if you want to short a stock, you better be trading a stock that you can go out and borrow, and it's not on a hard to borrow list, and you have to do things like that to be able to short the stock. All right? Same thing, you can get involved with ETFs, and they have some tax consequences, and there are different nuances for trading ETFs. Currencies, you better be trading them around the night. If you're a Forex trader and you're not trading with a reputable firm, then you have liquidity market problems and the ability to execute trades at the bid and the offer. So we want to be in a game that we can, take the odds and we put them in our favor. So it's real simple. We can open up we have a trading account, can open the trading account, you put your money in a trading account, and you're able to buy and sell, go long, go short. It's part of what commodity futures are, give you the ability to do. You just can go long if you think the market's going up, you go short if the market is going down. And we explain the history of commodity futures to you. Here's a pit. There was, in the heyday, back in the S&P 500 pit, there was like 800 of us standing in here, all smashed in like a bunch of sardines. That's what we did, all right? And then here's the contract. We'll talk, in this contract, there's a great explanation about the history of the contract, talks about the stocks that make up the S&P 500, all right? And then we talk about the 30-year bond. It's another thing that we trade is the 30-year bond, gold, and we talk about the crude oil. Then we tell you about margin requirements. This is where people get themselves in trouble when they trade futures. They don't really understand margins and how they work and the high leverage. So if you're trading a one-lot E-mini, you're getting about 25-to-1 margin when it's, because one lot E-mini is worth about $100,000 or 95 grand, and you could trade that with $5,000 margin in your account, and that's exchange margins. There are other brokerage firms that will let you trade as little as $500 for an E-mini in a day trade account. So we explain that. We talk about margins. We talk about the maintenance margins, and we get you the ticker symbols, contract specifications, 24-hour trading, all the different things that it takes to get you started. And that's when you come in and you register for free, you will get all these things. We talk about regular trading hours, extended trading hours. You will know different types of orders. There's a buy stop, buy limit, sell limit, and they're pretty, if you've been trading, they're pretty self-explanatory after we get in there and explain them to you. Now, back to the dashboard. So, if you're, let's go to, let me go back there. So, that's what you get if you register, and every morning you can come in here and you can take a look at the research, all right? Our next program was set up for, all right, when we go to the pricing page, our next program was set up for the education level. The education level is very simple. It's $100 a month to be in our education program, and now you get full access to the website except for the trading platform, which is for the people that are in our funded trading program. I'll get into that later. All right. So, who uses our education program? People that are already trading. If you're trading, especially if you're trading these three commodities, which is the ES, gold, oil, or bonds, you can come into our education platform, and over the last 30 years, or mostly since 1998, Pat Tabin and I and another partner, Reed, who has a master's from Berkeley in computer science, who does all our programming. We'll get all to that, okay? We're going to get, you already answered them? Okay. All right. So I'm not going to look at the questions. I'm sure Anthony's answering all the questions. All right. So in our education program, and this is what differentiates us from the rest, we have a live chat room. In that live chat room, we show you the different tools, the different indicators. We put you on the right side of the market. We teach you how to fish. All right. We don't make call-out trades, but today we actually did call out the trades today, and we had several of our people in our funding program were very profitable. This is what's different between us and any other funding program out there. Our success is going to be judged by your success. We want to get you out of the sim environment into the live environment, so we can do an 80-20 split with you and create a team of traders. Now, you ask me why. This is what I did the latter part of my career. I probably created at least 50 millionaires that were on the floor of the exchange, everywhere from my brother to my cousins to friends from high school, and then they brought their friends and so on. And this is what we did. And that's what the ecosystem used to be like on the floor of exchanges. At one time in the United States, there were 25,000 floor traders that from the New York Stock Exchange, Kansas City, Chicago, options, there were 25,000 floor traders. That number is under 3,000 now. And the pits are gone away, and the computers are now the virtual reality of how people can access the market. But with the advent of the computer and the marketplace opening up, what else happened? That ecosystem was destroyed for how does a young guy or a young professional, how does anybody get into this business of trading and be able to get educated and have a good chance at trying to be profitable, all right? You could spend a year on the internet going through all the snake oil salesmen, everybody else is out there holding themselves out as the next holy grail to trading, which we will tell you there is none. So what we've done is we've developed a process that we want to teach people, right? So if you're in the education package, which costs you $100 a month, you get live access to our chat room, all right? you get the complete trading manual that will explain the technical analysis we use, different charts, methodology, all right? And then eventually and then we have a video library, all right? And then in the education package, we will be displaying all day long all the different tools that we use in a live trading environment. In a live trading environment, not some simulated environment. As the market unfolds, and as today we had like a 4,000 point range when you take the overnight range today and the S&P futures, and we show you as the trades unfold. Now there are a couple things that we use and a couple tools that are proprietary to us and some that are unique to commodity trading, all right? And one of them that we use is what we call the market profile, all right? And I know that's going to look, for most people who've never traded before, but if you take a look at this market profile, I'm going to shrink it up just a little bit, all right? All right? So we look at this yellow area here today, okay? You're going to hear the term value. Value. This is where 67% of the trades happen today between this red 1891, okay, and down to 1879 and a quarter. This was developing value. Now, most people are used to looking at a chart that looks like this. Hold on. All right, I'm going to pull this chart down here. That's a gold chart. Let me bring the ES chart. All right, here's what you're used to looking at. Here's a bar chart, okay? And this is a 5-minute bar chart based on today's action, all right? I'm going to move it over because this was today's action, all right? Starting at 8:30 this morning, the market opened up here, okay? And it broke all the way, it opened up in this area here, which is 1891.75, and broke down to 1886 and a half, all right, then rallied back to 1888, then broke back down to 1872, and then rallied back up to 1892. Now that's 2,000 points. So you're seeing a market going up and down and up and down and up and down, right? All right? So here is this shaded area is the value area from the previous day, and these are important things to understand because this is the value from the previous day. The markets like to return to areas where they did a lot of trading. That brings on this tool right here. This is called market profile. So this is every one of these letters you see here, okay, and we start the day every day at 8:30, okay, and I'm going to try to separate this for you, make it a little bigger. We start the day every day at 8:30, all right, I'm going to split it. And I don't want to have to give you a whole lesson on market profile. I probably have to go to C. Let me go to C. I'm sorry. Tonight, but I'm just telling you this is one of the tools and how you learn how to use this. All right. So we split the day at 8:30. This letters, this row of letters is equivalent to a 30-minute bar chart. So at the high of this 30 minutes, it's 1896 and a quarter. At the low of this 30 minutes, the price was at 1887.75. All right. The reason this is done in letters, market profile, which we explain in our manual, is because not only now are you creating price, we are now calculating, because things are all done on a computer now, and we can get the total volume that is traded during the day, and we are now using this tool to count price and volume, all right? Why is volume important? All right. So when I was a floor trader back in the old days, I used to stand in a pit, and there used to be brokers that had a bunch of paper that were filling orders for institutions. They would come in with the orders, and they would either buy or sell in the market, and the locals, we were there to provide liquidity. Now, prior to 1986, I was 10% of the volume of the pit every day because I used to fill orders for institutional clients, and I used to trade for myself. And I traded for all the biggest firms on the street. Salomon Brothers, you name it, Merrill Lynch, every major player who entered the S&P pit, I filled orders for. All right. So markets simply, they go up when there's more buyers than sellers, and they go down when there's more sellers than buyers. All right. And when you look at this market profile, what this is telling us, okay, when you see all these letters together, that this is an area where the market, what we like to say, consolidated. 1886, look at all the letters. This means that we spent so much time and volume trading here. This is where the buyers and the sellers came to be able to, let's say, argue with one another and accept bids and offers, and the price consolidated in this area, all right? And this is things that we look at, because when you look at a thing like value, where 65% of the trades happened, and then you have this little green dot here, that means 1880. So the most volume happened at that price. The next day, as you can already see, the markets are already open in a 24-hour period. They're opening and they're trading lower than 1885, which is the point of what we call the volume point of control. And we want to see if the market is going to return to here where all the buyers and sellers were at war with one another, right? It's a very simple concept. And so there's a different concepts that you'd have to learn. They're very simple. It'll take you, you'll go through the trading manual, you'll learn those things. But the beauty of our chat room is we use this tool every day. This is our #1 tool. It helps us identify where volume is at. It helps us identify ongoing volume as the day is progressing. So we want to see in areas like today, all right? So the market went down here, and if you can see this single long line of letters right here, the sellers gave up. The buyers, they just couldn't do it anymore, right? So this, to us, is going to be an area of contention, because the sellers were trying to push it to get back down in here, and they just didn't have enough oomph to get back down. So this, as we like to call it, is an unfinished bottom, all right? And this is the point of control. Will the market go back here? And this is the top of value. Will the market travel back to there? And you will see, I'll get Pat on here, and I know I'm already eating up a lot of time, but we have a statistical study based on the opening, how the market will get back to those different levels, all right? So that's the one thing that we use. That's one thing that we use. Now, so then we take that market profile and we put it in a pictorial study side by side with a bar chart. This is a 5-minute chart, and we teach you how to analyze market movement. All right, and when we're doing that, we have levels like L1, L2, L3. These are levels where we expect the market to go if it's in a bullish trend, and then on the opposite, L1, L2, L3 if it's in a bear trend. These little dots here that you see is a proprietary pivot system invented by designed by my partner and programmed by Reed. And this is meant to keep you on the right side of the market. We teach you about how to use the pivot system. We use this day in, day out, and it's simple. When the green dots are below us, we're looking for the market to be in a bullish mode. And if they take out the dots, we're looking for the market to be in a bearish mode. But that's just not enough. We have to look for proper places to enter. Otherwise, the hardest thing about trading is what I like to call pain. When you get into a position and the market goes against you, and now they have the domes that you're looking at, and when you look at a dome and you put a position on it, and you're losing $200 or $300 or $500, and then you have to, then you start panicking because people don't like to lose money. It's unnatural to lose money. But what we like to teach you in our methodology is how to enter the market and exit the market, limit your losses, and give you the highest probability to make money. This is a science. This is an art, a science, but it's not an exact science. It's I want to say it's a process. And if there was a tool out there that you could just flip on and just turn it on and just make money all day long, none of you would sell it and none of you would give it away. So if you're on the internet now and you're looking for somebody to teach you or to sell you a product, there's a lot of guys who will sell it to you, and trust me, it's not going to work. There's nothing that works like that. This is a process, right? Also, you understand that we are in the market every day. We are trading the market every day. Different than building a stock portfolio and being an investor, okay? And the nice thing about commodity trading is you can profit from the price of oil going from $100 down to $28. You can profit from gold rallying the last 4 weeks from 1,030 to 1,130. You can profit from the S&P market going from 2130 at the all-time highs back down to 1830, which were the August lows. You can get long and short, and you can have no overnight exposure. And this should be a supplement to whatever other investment vehicles. And if you're retired or you're someone who's can go at this and trade and want to make a living at it, then you need to get with a great educator, a good educator, and learn how to make money. So also, we have developed, or Pat has developed this, this is a CCI, which is not our development, but the moving averages and the other components that make up these lines are sort of our proprietary spin on an old CCI, MACD, and different indicators we put together. Also, we have what we call our VWAP, which is a weighted average price that will move dynamically with the market, and we have these red and blue lines which end up becoming, we got our Tilson, which is down in here, shows you if the market is turned into bullish. It's real simple. Green, it's bullish. Gray, it's neutral. Red, it's bearish. And we look for all these things to line up, right? So these are the things, and then we have what we call the VWAP, and then we have standard deviation 1, standard deviation 2. Can't really get into all this stuff. This is the things that we do, but the most importantly, before I'm going to try to bring Pat in here and talk about the setups that we called out for you today. All right, so we have these indicators, and we have these for people that are already trading futures. We can get you set up through NinjaTrader at a free download. You buy our indicators, and boom, we put them right on. You can either lease them or you can buy them. All right. Market profile, you could lease it or you can buy it, or you could just go in the education package, watch us during the day, and watch us how we use this stuff until you become comfortable with the fact that maybe you even want to trade futures. All right. Let me bring you to the last thing, and then I'm going to try to bring Pat on, try to walk through what our trade was for today, all right? And so we devised this program, Get Funded, right? And there's 2 reasons I devised it. It wasn't my idea, all right? But I saw this out there, and I realized that, you know, especially in Forex trading, there's a bunch of knuckleheads out there pushing Forex trading, no education. All they're telling you is, hey, open up an account with 1,000, open an account with 2,000, trade it, make all these big profits. And you know what? You're just going to lose your money, right? And there's other people that have actually put together funding programs. Look, what we're trying to do, we're going to educate. It's going to cost you a tuition. If you can go through the course, and the course is once you get in the funding program, you have access to the indicators, you have access to the chat room, you have full access to all the tools that are available, and you will be taught by us about methodology, and then you will also gain access to this is our proprietary software now. It's not that it's different than anybody else, but it is a web-based trading platform. You'll be able to go here, and this is where our simulator will be at. You can log on, and boom, you're on. There's no downloading anything. There's nothing, right? And then it has a bunch of tabs. My nephew Anthony will teach you how to set up your tabs. There's a tab for the S&P 500. Okay. All right. There's a bunch of stuff on there. Here's our dome.
Your screen's
Flickering?
open a little bit. Yeah, you get something behind you.
Let me see if I can take it out of here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, pull it up, get rid of all the other stuff.
All right. Let me bring it back. All right.
Just yeah.
All right. How's that? Okay. And then you can set up different tabs, like this is what's going on in the market, trading a little lower. Here's your dome. Here's how you enter orders. This is actually going to be perfected, I would say, in the next couple weeks. We have a chart trader also. You can go here, and you can use the chart trader on here. All right. Okay. Also, we have a phone app, and the phone app will work on your tablets. It will work on your Android, and it will work on your iPhone. All right. And you'll be able to get charts and so on and everything on there and execute your trades from there. And eventually this will be a live trader for people who want to use a live trading. Okay. So you use this, you go into our chat room, you get to view all the different things that we're talking about. And if Pat, you're there, I'm going to kind of turn the mic over to you and have you walk through how our chat room operates, how the chat room, we walk through trades today, and then we're going to field some questions. So, Pat, are you there?
The video is not up yet, so we can't
Okay.
go through the video today.
Is Pat on?
He's on, but the
Okay. Well, we can try to walk through the trades based on what we had today.
While we're waiting for Pat, let me just add regarding the funding program, that if you already have a system that you trade, or if you're already a profitable trader and you're just looking for funding, that's good too.
check it out.
You don't need to participate in the educational portion.
Get it out of there. That's what's causing it to flicker.
Oh, all right. Let me close it. Let me close that down. So we're still waiting for Pat?
Yeah.
I don't have a screen to show, Louis. The video is
All right. Well, then
we just could not get it uploaded on time.
Couldn't get it uploaded in time. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
Forever.
All right.
The reason is we record every day. Every session is recorded, and it's such a large file that it takes a while to then encode it into a video and then upload it to the site. So I don't have a copy of it.
Okay, so, all right, so that's another thing. We record every one of our trading days live in the video library, okay? And you can go down in the video library and you can watch what our trade recommendations were for the day, all right? So I'm going to tell you that this morning, okay, and I can actually show you, if I bring the market profile in here, that if I start splitting the market, because remember, we split the market at B, the beginning of the day, the second period of the day is C, all right, and then I'm going to go down to D, which was down here. And then let's put it one more time already. All right, so the market opened up this morning, all right? Now, so you can conceptualize this. The market opened up, it was like 1,700 points higher from the close. So here's the market opening at 1896 and a quarter, all right? First half hour of the day went down and made a low of 1887.75. Pat and our statistics that Chris and Pat worked out every day had put some statistics in. Will the market go back and test the top of value, top of point of control, previous day's low, previous day's value area low, and so on. We put this statistics out every day to our live chat, and we talk about how do we manage the market as we trade through different levels. All right, and based on the market opening and the kind of opening it was, what the bias was, sort of what we come up with a calculated sort of bias for the day. And Pat, from the opening was saying that we have a good percentage chance that the market will close higher today. It will close higher than the previous day's close. All right. So the second half hour, we have a continuation of the drive all the way down. Okay. All right. It makes another low down in here at 1871.5. And then in bracket D, another continuation and touches the overnight low, which is right here, this blue line, okay? All right, and at this time, Pat is in the chat room live is calling out that the market has a high percentage chance that it will go back up and trade back into value, as you can see, and that we are also looking for the market to go back to the top of value. Now, these are the things that we do live in a room all day long. This is the difference between us and other funding programs. We walk you through the setups. So when this market was making these lows from the opening down here, okay, so this is like the opening right here, okay, as it was making these lows, we weren't getting suckered in here. It actually, our pivot system here went to a buy. This purple line is what we call our bull bear zone. It went here, got under our bull bear zone, did not take out the pivot system, and we stayed buying, recommending in the room that you should be buying dips throughout the day, right? Now, we were looking for the market to go back up, hopefully, and test what we call the high of value, and the market was, as we can see today, once it made its low, it got back up in here and tested this yellow line, which is that volume point of control that we talked about. And this is what we call a consolidation day. And Pat laid this out 15 minutes after the opening. He made these calls 15 minutes after the opening. Now, I don't have to, all you have to do is if you get in the education program, there's a 2-day free trial. Get into the free trial, go back and watch today's video. The video doesn't lie, all right? I told you I coached high school football. I used to tell our kids when we were doing films, the film doesn't lie. You missed that block.
We have one of our traders in here too, Unc, if you want to bring him in to contest to the calls.
All right. Well, they may, you know, I like to bring guys in like that, but, you know, you guys don't know him from Adam. You can think that he's in there for as a shoe. So hopefully, you know, he can give you an email and you guys can attest to the fact of what we did today. So, and we can answer some questions. Now, it's a lot in an hour here to take in and understand. So, what's the point of ManOverMarket? One, we can be almost, well, our goal is to make good traders, right? And we're going to take all levels. You could be a newbie trader, new to futures, and you could be a person with your own money, you want to get educated, you want to get in our chat room, you want to buy our indicators, you want to lease our indicators, you want to learn our methodology, and you want to sit in your home and be part of a community. Because actually, this is the one thing that I really, really miss from the floor. There was a community. There was 500 guys. You know, it was like being in high school with money. We used to be in there trading. And then when things were slow, we go in the break room and everybody was, in there kibitzing and joking and so on. We'd go to the health club, work out, you come back. It was an incredible atmosphere to be part of. So we have a little bit of fun. We tell some jokes when it's slow in there, but mostly we share charts, we share education, we share experiences, and we try to educate people to become profitable traders. And it doesn't matter if you're trading your own money or if you're in the funding program, you're getting the same advice, the same experience of what we have over the last, if I combined it all, it would be like 100 years of experience. And then we bring other educators in to talk about their different opinions, their different methodologies. Opinions are different from methodologies, but this was what we do. This is what we do. And you know what? We record it every day. We record it every single day. You can go to the recording and say these guys are for real or they're not for real. And I don't know how many people actually put that out there like we do. So those are the kind of things. There are some other questions out there. And actually, who's in here, Anthony?
Got Jim Parrish.
All right, so I'm going to turn on one of the guys that we met through our chat room. He's actually in our funding program also, and let him give his little experience and talk about what we do. Also, let me bring the website back in here. Got the wrong guy here. Click on it. All right. I want you to look at it. Okay, that's the platform.
Okay, I got something to say, Louis.
All right, go ahead, Pat.
I want to say that every day in the morning, and I say we, Chris and I, take over, and shortly before the opening at 8:30 Central Time, we go over all our statistics, all our research, and we talk about how the market is progressing through the day. And we answer all the questions live. We answer all the questions. It doesn't matter what the question is. If it's related to the market, we answer it live, and everybody typically benefits from that. We also have the best tools in the business, and we use these tools, and our sponsors are the vendors that actually have these tools have made arrangements with us. We typically have the ability to request special programming or special features of these tools as well that will become available to our users. We also welcome ideas from our users, and if we have an idea that makes a lot of sense, we will get it programmed. So it's a constant exchange of information through the day, and it's unfortunate that we don't have this morning's video to show because it wasn't handpicked. We do this every day. So with that, if anybody has any pressing questions regarding how you can benefit by being in the chat room every morning, please ask it now.
We have Jim on the line too. Jim, you with us?
I'm here.
All right, so Jim, why don't you just briefly explain? Basically, you started following me on Twitter, saw from ManOverMarket on Twitter, and then when we opened up the chat room and the funding program, why don't you explain to people what your experience has been, and hopefully you can share your email with somebody. Like I said, Jim is in our funding program, but and put him in the room here so we could,
Yeah, no problem. I'm definitely not a ringer. As Louis said, I just started following him on Twitter. I know he hit upon it. If you're new to trading, and if you are a trader, trading is a very lonely business. I worked on the trading floor as a runner. That's kind of how I got my feet wet in the business, and then went away from the business, and then came back into it. And but doing the at-home online thing, electronic trading, and it is a very lonely business. And I've kind of ran my gamut of snake oil salesman. Luckily, I didn't get hurt too bad, but I just wanted to hit on one of the things that Lewis said earlier. I kind of disagree with him. I think trading is extremely simple. Trading is totally simple. The one big hang-up is it is not easy. Of course, it's simple. You want to buy low and sell high. That's the simple part. Other than that, there is so many different little pitfalls and pratfalls to take you down mentally and emotionally and financially that you need a mentor. I mean, I don't know, it doesn't have to be Lewis, doesn't have to be Pat, doesn't have to be Mom, but if you're new to it, you got to find somebody good and find yourself a mentor, because that's the only way you're going to make it. There's very few people that are going to walk into the major leagues and start batting 300, and that's another thing to any new traders. Be prepared to strike out. You got to take losses. Nobody wins 100% of the time, and that's just part of the game. And once you, admit to yourself that that's the way it is, and you can't win every trade, and that's the business, then you got to find yourself a system. And like I said, I've been doing this since 2008, 2007, right around when the crash started. And I thought it was simple. All you do is sell. A little bit later in the day, you hit buy, and boom, there's a bunch of money in your accounts. And then everything turned around, but that's a different story. But I was there this morning with Pat. I kind of got my own system. And I was listening to Pat, and this market is in a free fall. And he's going, no, we're in a buy. We're in a buy. We're only looking for buys today. And I'm kind of scratching my head like, wait, what? But the pivot wasn't a buy, and when I first started following Lewis on Twitter, I was always wondering, how is this guy always on the right side of the market? And he'd put out, the pivot's in a buy, or once he crossed over, the pivot's in a sell, and I was like, what is up with this pivot? And I'm not real good with computers. I'm real good with the charts, but I'm not real good with computers. So I have no idea what the programming aspect is behind it, but I've been with these guys for about a month now, and the pivot is pretty much spot on, 80-90% of the time. Of course, it gets taken out and crossed over, but then boom, you're in a buy, the pivot gets taken out. Okay, now let's start looking for sells. The stat work that Pat and Chris do is incredible. I mean, it's even overwhelming. It's like, what? It's just really incredible. And if they're offering it for free, I couldn't encourage you enough to look that up right at the opening and be like, okay, we're opening in value. If you're a profile trader like we are, and get that information, because, like I said, I'm not good with computers, so I would have no idea on how to research that and get the stat and the odds, and they got 2,000 days, and I have no idea about how to do anything like that. But to have information like that just given you for free, I mean, you can't get a better deal than free, right?
Well, thank
Anthony,
you, Jim.
no problem. I mean, I've been in a lot of different rooms, and total and utmost professionalism. There is some side slapstick going on and some joking going on when
Uncle Lou, go ahead.
Uncle Lou comes in and gives everybody a good talking to in mid-afternoon, right before the power hour starts to break out at the end of the day. And you need a support network in this group, and that's kind of how I find these guys on Twitter. Twitter kind of turned into my support network because, like I said, I've been in, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 different rooms. In one room, the guy that was running the room was asking me for setups, and I'm like, I'm paying this guy $200 a month? Yeah, I'm out of here. And that's how I wound up on Twitter. And like I said, found Lewis, and that's about it. Anthony, if you want to put my email out there.
Yeah, I got you.
It's pretty easy. I will, depend upon how many I get, I will answer them all sooner or later. I wish I could do like my iPhone and just talk into it and type, but I'm a horrible typist, so it might take a while, and I never proofread my email responses because it takes me so long just try to get through it in the first place. So if it doesn't make sense, feel free to respond back and say that didn't make any sense. Your high school English teacher is going to be angry with you.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. We're going to start fielding some calls.
All right, yeah, get the questions.
And then we'll go from there. All right?
All right,
So,
my man.
Thanks, Woody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jim.
Jim.
Thanks. So, also Chris Kahn's on here, who's part of the team, and Pat and Chris have basically taken over the research side of the business and the trading. I actually still come in and give my opinion. I do the morning call. I talk about what I see, what I think, and then when the room opens up, all my opinions go in the toilet because I just let the market and the indicators tell me what is going on, right? So that's the key to this. And this is why I don't know what kind of, I pretty much know what kind of demographics I get on here. This is the beautiful thing about Facebook marketing and different things, and I don't know how you found us, but I found out certain things about you people, and I put it out there, and that's how we got most of you in the room tonight. So, anyway, questions, let's type them in. Anything we can ask and talk to you about. This is what we're doing, and our goal is to build a stable of traders. That's what we're trying to do, and I think that the market, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I mean, I started in 1981. I started trading in the gold pit when gold was $850 an ounce. I've watched gold go from $850 down to $340 and back up to 2000. I watched interest rates go from 19% or 21% down to zero the last 7 years. I traded in 1987. Anthony, why don't you, in 1987, I traded in the crash. I traded through the bull market of the 90s. I was in the pit when the Dow went through 1,000. I was writing 90 or 65 on my S&P cards when it first came out. I traded through the dot-com era. I traded through the bubble, and then I exited in 2003, and I also started trading back about 2011, 12, right around there, because the markets became interesting enough to me again. When I left, I thought the markets were going to be in doldrums, and they were. It took over 7 years to go and make new highs, and now we've been in this bull market, and we're on the cusp of one of the most interesting economic times of our life, where we have quantitative easing, Fed. I mean, imagine for most of you younger people that are out there, or even younger than me. I'm 58, and I look at the interest rates, and we made more news over a quarter-point hike than I saw in 5 years when rates went from 21 back down to 10. So this is an amazing time. I've watched oil now. I mean, in high school, I remember oil waking up at 50 cents, going to $1, and there were lines, and people were ready to kill themselves and kill the gas station attendants. We've watched oil. Pat started telling me when oil was at like $80, it's going to 50, maybe $25. So, it's an incredible. I mean, the commodity markets, everything that's going on now is going to unravel itself, and it's going to do something else. We're going to be able to catch a tremendous amount of bull markets, and I think that the markets, right now are in an incredible time. The volatility is great. We've got so many things going on in the world. We've got the emergence of China's slowdown. We've got quantitative easing. We've got people printing money. We've got We got the Brits are going to leave the EU. We've got emerging markets and corruption. We've got Donald Trump may be president. We've got incredible amount of volatility being created by not only experimental quantitative easing, zero rate interest. Pat always jokes and says, we will run out of money when we run out of trees and we don't have enough money to print anymore, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, guys like us that have been around and we look at this, Pat's 60, I'm 58. I look at these things. I skipped over your age, Chris. Did you see that? Anyway, I look at these things and I look at the markets and I go, what an incredible time, all right? And for you younger people that are on here, all right, I know you're all going to create the next great app, but learn about the markets. There's an incredible time out there, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of education that we can give you. And so that's why we created ManOverMarket. It is sort of a catch-all for everybody, and a lot of things that happen in these markets that people do not have the funding to go on to the next level. So, or you have to get into a prop shop where you have to put up 5 or 10 grand, and then, you know, when you lose your 10 grand, you're out of the prop shop, right? So they give you more buying power. They give you more leverage so that you can lose your 5 or 10 grand sooner because you start trading bigger. So, you know, you know, look, we only know, I can only be responsible for what we are marketing to you, and that's what we're marketing to you. We're genuine about what we do. We don't hide anything. You can get on the website, get in the video library, and see all the things that we do. And Anthony, I can't see any questions. I only see one guy. So
I answered them all.
you all see them all? Okay. I'm trying to. Oh, okay, Judy. Money's not printed from trees. Sorry. Oh, it's made out of cotton. Thank you. There you go. That's what you're doing digital? Right. That's the next thing we're going to do on our platform. It will have the ability to trade Bitcoins. So I don't know. I don't know which one's going to win. Soft. You mean like soft commodities, Stephen? Right now we're just trading ES, DL, ZB, GC. As the platform gets more developed, we'll also, I just actually got an email from the developers. They're turning on delayed stocks. So we're going to get delayed stock quotes and options on here, and you'll be able to do nice things like that. Any other questions? How many are actually trading now? All right, here's a guy who's read my book. I took the Concorde home. Yes. 1987 in the crash, Black Monday, I was in Switzerland, got a phone call. Actually, I was in Zurich, sitting outside in Piaget, and I looked out and I saw the ticker tape on the Swiss bank building going by. It said Dow down 500, and I said to the teller, is this broke? Is this really broke out there? And he goes, no, sir, the United States stock market crashed. I turned white, got back to the hotel. I had a message, like 10 messages to get back home, and I flew a Concorde home. That was a real nice time. It was really pretty cool. Peregrine Financial lost my account 25 years later. Okay. So I see people are already, a lot of you are already trading, correct? All right, so Anthony, you've answered all those questions, I take it?
Yes, I did.
All right, I see just a few of you asked some questions, and a lot more on the chat. Please, if you have other stuff, let us know. It's a very simple process. Go and sign up. We're actually kind of redoing the front page because we see that it's a sort of doesn't really fully explain what we do. Everybody just thinks we're about funding, but funding, and I'm going to tell you something. Funding, it's possible to summarize your indicators and why they are cut above others. Well, so, you know, most of the stuff we do is about momentum, right? And about being on the right side of the market. And the indicators are basically, have been developed by Pat to follow trends and when the trend is changing, and also momentum, right? So when you take a look, when I bring them down in here, he's kind of designed all these things in a nice sort of great picture, right? So who asked that question? Judy. Judy, are you trading commodities? I see your fib layout. It would be nice, but yes, NG and YM. Perfect. So here you go, Judy. Here's YM. Here's NG. Okay. I keep them right on my desktop. So I have 4 screens, and I keep the ES below, and then I keep the TF also, if you want TF. All right. Okay. And so this is what my screen looks like above me. And I'm looking at the pivots, and I want to see when the NG, the YM, the TF, and the ES are all in a buy. I want to see when they're all in a sell, all right? And Pat, and then what Pat has done for the screen, you just plug it in. Are you using NinjaTrader, Judy? Yes, perfect. So you can go into NinjaTrader, get a key, all right, and we would send you the key, and you can plug all these in. So you'll have the ability to see value, and you can put it on anything you're trading. So you can put it on the NG and YM, okay? And you'll get the pivot system, which is here, all right? And every day, all right, you can go in, and here's how it works. You go here, and I know you asked me to tell you why. I'm going to tell you, I'm not the technician, all right? Okay, I'm not the technician who developed these, but he kind of made them sort of, you know, foolproof for me, who was a trader, who's traded probably, traded a lot of S&P contracts in my lifetime. And he explained to me when they're red or green, you have to pay attention to the colors. You have to pay attention to the pivot. And then I learned how to be a market profiler. And then I use all these things, and we put it in a nice picture, and we explain the story as it's unfolding. So it's not just one indicator, it's the whole thing.
Context is so important through the day.
Right, right. The context is important. It can't just be...
Here's something we can deliver for anyone taking that free trial, the 2-day free trial. I promise that you will learn something you've never heard before. It's not a come on, it's not a gimmick. You will learn a special way of looking at market flow you've never seen before. And we do this every day during market hours. It's one of our setups. It's really not an indicator. It's just a way we look at the order flow. And it's really be worth your time to come in and learn about that methodology, even if you only stay for 2 days. And there is a 2-day free trial, correct, Louis?
Yep.
It doesn't cost them anything to do that. So
you can get into the chat room for 2 days, and then you can decide if you want to exit or respond. But so Eric asked me a question, transition from the floor to the screen. Okay, so I started doing that probably back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and but at that point there was still, I was still more at home on the floor because I could see order flow, right? And that's probably one of the hardest things for a floor trader was that, I used to trade 2,000 big contracts a day, basically on an average day, anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 contracts. That's times 5, that's what, 10,000 minis, right? And so the hardest thing for floor traders is that you can't be the bid and offer anymore, because you can't get it. You're not going to get away from these algos. The algos, they control the market, and for you to trade 10,000 minis, you better have you better have I have some, 500, $200-300 million in your trading account, right? That's a good question, Judy. Some stuff I held all day, and sometimes I was getting in and out because my commissions allowed me to get in. So when you see these, when you look at the dome now and you see, big lots, 100 lots and things going off and on, that's nothing more than an algo that was doing what I used to do on the floor, right? And so now I can't trade like that anymore. I have to, this has been the hardest transition. You have to wait for the trades to come to you. And this is the methodology that we have been working on for, I'm going to say it's evolved over 20 years, but over the last 3 years, when we've seriously been saying, how do I recreate what I saw on the floor? So that's the kind of things that you do, right? And, we look at things like that. I look at this, like Fibonacci. We look at everything. But we think our methodology makes it real simple, right? We got a pivot. We don't want to trade on the other side of that pivot. And we want to look for a setup that will put us on the same side of the pivot, all right? And then also, if the pivot is taken out, we're going to look for confluence with the other, especially if you're trading YM and you're trading NQ, you want to be in a place where everything is in sort of confluence. So the best thing I can tell you is come into the room, get your free trial, and then if you don't like it, you leave. So Eric, the hardest thing was slowing down the trading and waiting for the trades to come to me instead of trying to be the market. Yes, George, there are icebergs, dark pools, there's HFT people out there like jump trading that then spend $40 million to be located next to the Merck server. We're not in that game. We're not going to beat them on that game. We're in the game of trying to get on the market. All right, everybody. I think that's long enough. I think everybody can go to the website. It doesn't cost you anything to register, and you know what? Hopefully you get in with us and do anything like that. Do you have a mentor for learning market profile yourself? You know what? Pat and I met Charlie Cochran, 20 years ago. Pat's been friends with Charlie for a long time, and his profile is Inside Edge. This profile has some nuances based on ManOverMarket, okay? But I'm going to tell you something about profile. I think that profile is something that you have to watch and learn and look at, and then people can point it out to you, but eventually the light bulb will go off in your head after you've watched it enough and learned from it. All right, everybody. Once again, hi, Michael. It was nice talking with everybody. If you get to the site, take a free. Hey, John. All right, guys. So we'll talk to you later, and good luck to you, and hopefully we see you in our chat room and you become part of our team. Talk to you later. Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Pat. Good night, Chris. Good night, John Boy. Good night, everybody. All right. Good night.